Okay. Hi, everyone. It's Allie here, and welcome to Lunchtime Yoga. We've got a snow day here in Boulder, so I thought we could work on some warming poses, some twists, some core strengtheners, and just sort of wake up that internal heat. This is kidney time of year in Chinese medicine, and the kidney qi can get a little bit low. So we're just going to work on moving slowly, but also cultivating some inner heat. So I want to have us start just here with the hands on the kidneys. So find, you don't know exactly where your kidneys are, but somewhere in the lower back, kind of where the lower ribs are. And you can just put your hands on there, and you should be able to just sense and feel the warmth of your hands, and let that warmth kind of settle into your lower back, and just imagine that the hands are sending energy and qi into your kidneys. And just take about another breath or two here. And then you can let your arms relax out in the front, close your eyes. And just keep the energy directed right there into the lower back and the kidneys. And the kidneys, they detoxify our blood. So very, very important organs to keep healthy, keep vibrant. So as you inhale, just imagining some life force and qi going right down into the lungs and all the way down into the kidneys. And then as you exhale, just a nice, slow, extended breath out through the nose. Relax the jaw, any tension in the shoulders, just let it drip back. Find a little smile inside. And we'll take one more nice, full breath in, breathing into the kidneys, lower back, all the way into the sacrum. Hold the breath at the top for a moment and just slightly lift up on the pelvic floor. Let the shoulders come up a little bit and then roll back as you exhale. So lunchtime yoga, we're just going to slough off any of the morning stress or sitting at our computers, driving the kids around, although it's a snow day. And then we'll let the eyes slowly open. Great. And we're going to just start right away with a twist. So the right hand will come back, left hand onto the right knee, and just take a moment to exhale and root down through your sits bones. So you're going to find the energy that goes down, the yielding to gravity. And then you'll inhale up through the spinal column, all the way to the top of the head. And again, exhale. It's like you're wringing out the spine. And as we wring out the spine, we're really waking up through the core of the body. One more deep breath in. Exhale, twist it out, and then inhale will come back to center and then over to the other side. So right hand onto the left knee. Start with your exhale, yielding down into your seat, and then start to grow up. Just imagine from the base of the spine, you're getting pulled up through the crown of the head, like there's a little string pulling up. And then an exhale, twisting. I like to think of wringing out a wet towel, inhaling. And then you're just wringing out from the core. So try not to use the big external muscles to wring, but coming from the navel, those core muscles. Good. And then we'll inhale, come back to center. We're going to make our way over onto our hands and knees. And if you have a couple of props, you can have them handy, the strap and block. If not, don't worry too much about it. We'll bring ourselves onto our hands and knees, and go ahead and set your hands about shoulder distance apart, spreading all 10 of your fingers evenly. Creases of the wrists line up with the front of the mat. Come here into tabletop. And just find a neutral place with your spine. So just going to not collapse the lower back like that. You want to keep the ribs a little bit lifted and just sort of like you have a little spring in your spine. Okay, and then we're going to start to move with the breath. So on the in-breath, we'll start to lift the chest forward, look up. And then on the exhale, the tailbone curls under. We start to round the back, especially up into the kidneys, lower ribs. And then the chin comes in towards the chest. And then inhale, unroll from the head, chest, and then go all the way into the arch position, lifting the tailbone. And exhale from the tailbone, curling under, navel comes to spine. We round the back and press into the arms. So just keep going at your own rhythm, inhaling the whole length of your spine, looking up. And exhale, curl, navel to spine, round the other upper back, and drop the chin. And inhale, arching the back, look up softly. Good, and exhale, round the back. And about 2 more on your own, just following your breath. Last one. And exhale. Good. Inhale, come back to neutral. We're going to step our left foot forward and bring both hands up onto the thigh bone. And just pause here for a moment. Square off your hips. So that right hip is going to come forward a little bit. Left hip crease pulls back, so the hips are squared. And then make sure that you're not overarching your back here. So there's a little drop of your tail and a little engagement of the lower abdomen, pulling in and up slightly. Don't overdo it, right? And then we'll sink down into the hips. You want to keep a little scissoring action to stabilize through the lower body. Then inhale the arms up to the sky into a crescent lunge. Exhale. And then inhale, lift up through the rib cage. It's like you're lifting the ribs off of the hips. And then exhale, soften, right? So there's this balance of a little bit of effort with each inhale, drawing a little bit more into the core, the center. And then with each exhale, we're softening, lengthening. And then inhale and exhale, bow forward, placing your right hand down. So we're going to come back into another twist. Plugging that right hand down, inhale the left arm up to the sky. And then exhale, you can bow a little bit forward, take your left arm down towards the floor, and really open up this back part of your body. So you can feel and sense into those lower ribs, into the kidneys, and then keep that awareness of the back as you open it up into the front again, inhaling. And you can move with your breath. So it's actually the inhale brings the arm down. We open up the back body. The exhale opens it up. One more, bowing forward, inhale, and then exhale into a nice big twist. Just hold it here for a couple of breaths. I always have to be aware of my jaw because it's a place I tend to tense if I'm trying too hard. Just keep the jaw relaxed, smile a little bit. Good, and then exhale, release. And we'll come back onto all fours. Do a couple of cat-cows, coming back to that mobility in your spine. Rounding the back, inhaling. And exhale. Great. And we'll make our way to the other side. So stepping our right foot forward into a lunge. Excuse me. Bring both hands onto your thigh bone here and just pause. So I just find that it's much easier to get set up in the pose first than to go right into the pose and then try to adjust. So we scissor the legs in just a little bit, stabilizing. Make sure that lower belly is coming in, tailbone down. So bring the pelvis into a slightly posterior position. Then you can sink a little bit deeper in the hips there. Inhale, sweep the arms up to the sky. And exhale. If it feels good, point the toes in the back. Inhale, lift and float your ribs. And then exhale, bow forward. We'll place our left hand down. And you can really come up onto more of the fingertips. And then the right arm reaches up towards the sky. So here we go. We're gonna inhale, take the arm down a little, open up through the back, nice and big. And then on the exhale, open the twist. Inhale, pulling inside. Breathe into your core. Bring that prana, that chi into the kidneys, and exhale, open it up. One more inhale. And then exhale, open. Hold it for just 2 breaths or so. And then on your next exhale, release the hands. We'll come back onto all fours. This time, walk your hands a little bit forward, creases of the wrist, line up with the front edge of your mat. Spread all 10 fingers, tuck your toes. Make our way up into downward facing dog by lifting the knees and sliding the hips back. So let's just take our first dog pose today. Up on the toes with the knees a little bit bent, nice soft feeling in the pelvis. And just work on plugging your finger pads into the sticky mat, lifting the armpits up away from the sticky mat and gliding and sliding the shoulder blades down. So we always want to make sure that the shoulders have stability in downward facing dog. Okay, then you can go ahead, maybe straighten one leg at a time and just get that nice opening through the back of the leg, the calf muscles, backs of the knees. Eventually, if it works, if it's not rounding your back, you straighten the legs. And if it is rounding your back, you just keep a little bend in the knees. Find a couple of nice, smooth, extended breaths, relaxing the tension in the jaw. And breathe out through the mouth, last breath. We'll look up between the hands. Let's walk our feet to the top of our mats. And separate the feet hip distance apart. Take a forward fold here, Uttanasana. Inhale, look up. And then exhale, fold. And let your head go, but keep the shoulders sliding down. It's actually up. Let the back of your skull be soft, the jaw relaxed. And the feet are steady on the ground. Shake your head if you feel like it, letting go of any tension in the neck, jaw. Great. And then we'll take our hands to our hips. Follow the exhale out and slowly come on up. Inhale to standing. We're going to stand here at the top of our mats. Big toes touching, heels slightly apart. So in the lunchtime flow, we're going to start out with some sun salutes and work our way into a couple of standing poses. Today we'll be doing some twists, and then we're going to get on the floor and do some of those core activation poses, followed by a couple of relaxation postures with some meditation. So we got a lot to fit in here. So we'll stand here at the front of our mats and open the palms up. So you're just coming here into Tadasana, the mountain pose. So here at the studio, we're looking out at the mountain. There's a sense of stillness, a sense of presence that the mountain brings. So you just bring that into your body here for a moment. Allowing your body to really self-organize here in space. Relax any tension in the jaw, even in the shoulders. Sometimes we try to hold ourselves up. And so we want to just allow ourselves to be held up, come into that right relationship with gravity here. Okay. And then once you find that stillness, let your eyes open, let your eyes orient in space. And inhale, we'll take the arms up overhead into Urdhva Hastasana. Turn the palms out, exhale. Come up and over slowly, especially in this first one, to Uttanasana. Don't worry about how far you go. Place the hands to the shins. Inhale, halfway lift here, shoulders back, long spine. Place the hands back down. Exhale, step your left leg back. Bring the back knee to the floor. And inhale, arms out to the side, crescent lunge. Good, look to the thumbs. Exhale, take your hands down and step back onto the knees. So in this first one, we're going a little bit slower. Then we're going to lower down, leading with the chest, come all the way into the belly, and inhale into a baby cobra to start with. So just come up where you can still lift your hands. And then exhale, lower, place the forehead down. This time we'll come into full cobra. So pressing a little more into the hands, loop the shoulders back, and let the neck get long here. Shoulders back, not forward, right? Don't over tense the buttocks. Exhale, lower down. Press back through the knees. Come all the way back to downward facing dog. And 5 Ujjayi breaths. Ujjayi breathing is this nice, slow breathing in and out through the nostrils, making a little sweet sound with your breath. And breathing into the spine. Inhale. And exhale. Reach back through the sits bones. One more big breath here into the kidneys, into the lower back, lower ribs. Follow your exhale all the way out. Good. Step your left foot forward. Bring the back knee down to the floor and inhale again. Come up into a crescent lunge. Arms reach up overhead. Exhale, hands come down. Step all the way to the top of your mat. Inhaling to a halfway lift again. And exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Plug the feet in. Inhale, arms wide and all the way up till the palms touch. Exhale, the arms come down by your side. Soften the back of the knees. Take an extra breath here. Inhale. And exhale all the breath out. Then inhale. Number 2, sweep the arms up. Exhale, like you're swimming through water, coming to a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. This time we're going to step right back to a plank pose with both legs. So coming here, start to activate the core a little bit. So we don't want to collapse the lower back, right? We want to keep the belly lifting, keep extending the tail towards the heels, crown of the head goes forward. Inhale here. Good. You can either come down into full chaturanga if you don't have any issues in your shoulders. Otherwise, knees down and lower down to your bellies. And then on the in-breath, Bhujangasana. Exhale, lower. Press back either with straight legs or knees bent. Downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Take a few breaths. Relax the inside of the mouth and jaw, corners of the eyes. Nice, long, extended breaths. Breathing life force, infusing the spine with that life force. As you inhale, exhale, letting go of any stress and tension. And then look between your hands. You can either hop or step. Take a few steps forward. Inhaling, hands to the shins, lengthen through the crown. Exhale, fold in. Arms wide and up. Inhale, back to Urdhva Hastasana, arms overhead, and exhale, mountain pose. Arms by your sides. Take a breath. We're going to do one last Surya Namaskar A. So inhale, arms reach up overhead, look to your thumb. Exhale, up and over, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, loop the shoulders back. Exhale, step or hop, plank pose. Hold here for a breath, inhale. And exhale, lower, straight legs or knees bent. Inhale, Bhujangasana. All 10 toes spreading. Exhale, lower. Press back through the knees or straight legs, downward facing dog. And breathe. So imagine the center of your palms are like the sun. So you're radiating out from the center of the palms through the tips of the fingers, lightly pressing through each base of the finger. So it creates a little suctioning in the center of the palm, which can translate all the way to activation of the shoulders, gliding and sliding the shoulders down the back. Finish out your next breath. Inhale, exhale, and then you'll hop or step. I'm gonna hop. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold forward. Plug in the feet. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up over the head, touching the palms. Exhale, you can just take your namaste right down the center line to the front of the heart. Arms by your sides. Let's come back to the mountain pose. You can close your eyes or just keep your eyes soft and just take a moment, feel your body in space. Notice what's happening through your body right now. Maybe a little release in the shoulders. Great. So here's where you might need your block. You can have it handy if you do have one. We're going to step the feet about one leg length apart and turn the right foot straight out and keep the back foot parallel to the back edge of your mat. Arms reach wide. Inhale here. We'll come into warrior two. So everything is going to stay the same. You're just going to bend your front knee right over your ankle. Now, over the years, as I've hit my midlife years, my hips, especially on the left side, have gotten a little bit tighter. So I have to modify, and it's okay. I don't go into the pose as deep. You can see I can't get this knee over the ankle. I just go where I can. This is part of yoga practice for midlifers. Okay, you meet your edges. You might not be able to do things the same. There's a level of acceptance and then just being with what is. So eyes are soft. Now from here, we'll take the left hand back and reach the right arm up overhead. So open up this side waistline, giving a little more space to the lower ribs, the kidneys, and then exhale, bring the forearm onto the thigh. Another option is to bring the hand to a block on the outside of the ankle. Now, start with your left hand here on your hip. Just move your hips back and forth a little. When you go back, you feel a nice softening in the back groin. So you want to keep that. And then just scoop the tail under a little bit more. Then take your arm overhead. Yeah. So little micro movements while you're in the pose, I find is very healthy for the joints. Right? So you find some little spirals, feel the shape. Feel the connection from earth to sky and really your body as a conduit. Little soft smile on the face. We're going to finish out our next breath here. And then on the in-breath, come on up. If you're using a block, take your block with you. And just scoot on over to the other side, placing the block if you're using it. Okay, so again, outer back foot lining up with the back edge of the mat. Inhale, sweep the arms wide. Exhale, bend your front knee right over your ankle. Okay. Great. So again, don't judge your body for where it is. Took me a long time to get over. Just my body's a little bit different now than it was 10 years ago. So we're going to bring our gaze off of the fingertips. See if you can find neutral in the pelvis without jutting the top of this hip forward. And breathe. It's not all about form. So we find the form and then we let ourselves be in a little more of the formless. And then inhale, open up your left arm, open this left waistline, and exhale, bring your hand onto the block. Yeah. So you just settle in here for a moment, meet your edges. Yeah. And then take your right arm and bring it overhead. And just take a moment, feel the shape, and feel free to do some little spirals. Don't get stiff while you're in the pose. In fact, if you feel stiff and your breath is shortened, back off a little bit. Find a new place. We're looking for flow of energy, flow of prana. We're certainly not looking for any kind of perfection in the way the pose looks. We want to see how the pose feels in our body. And then we'll inhale, come on up. And you can turn the feet parallel here. And just take a moment, go a little bit narrower here with the feet. Bring your hands onto your hips and just Move the hips a little bit side to side, maybe some little circles in either direction. Mhm. Great. And then inhale, reach the arms wide. In this position, our outer feet are parallel to each other. On the exhale, the hands come back to the hips. I'll take a big breath in. So you're rooting down from the pelvis into the feet to get more lift and extension, opening the chest, shoulders back. And then on the exhale, fold forward. Hands come down to the floor. You can adjust here if you want to go a little wider with the feet. You're welcome to use the block in any way that's supportive. Inhale and exhale, walk it in. Yeah, and breathe. So you want to find that place in the center of your feet by rocking slightly forward of the heels, back, grounding the inner edge of the foot, the outer edge. Yeah, and again, maybe spiraling the legs in and out. And then at some point, just finding neutrality. Letting go of the idea that you need to get it better. Just be in the neutral space and breathe. So much of our yoga practice is working to find that middle path, that middle ground, the space between the in-breath and the out-breath, the inner rotation and the outer rotation, right? Exploring the space between. Good, and then inhale, we'll walk our hands out, and exhale, walk your hands over to the right, turn your right foot out, and come down onto the back knee. Great. Now we're going to go into a little bit of a deeper twist here. So we'll bring our hands back up onto the thigh. So that same thing here, we want to stabilize. And we do that by a slight scissoring in, as well as a little bit of hugging into the hips. So you can even put your hands here, give your hips a little hug. It's always good to love up our hips whenever we can. So give a little hug, right? And then inhale, reach up with the left arm. Connect here to this outer left rib line. Okay, so the floating rib, even the kidneys. Put your hand here and you can start to twist over to the right, placing your elbow to the outside of the knee. Now, if that's too much and you want a little more support, you can take the block again and place your hand on the block and open up from here. This is a little more of an open twist, a little more supportive. This is a deeper one if you want to wrap your elbow on the outside and then just folding the hands here at the heart. And before you go deeper into the twist, inhale, lengthen through the crown. Exhale, twist. Gaze all the way to the right. And every in-breath, right, we want to create more space and opening through the spine. Every out-breath, a little more ringing out of the spine. 2 more breaths. Beautiful. And then exhale, release. Great. From here, we'll step back onto the knees. You can take a full dog pose, or just at this point, we're moving a little bit more towards the floor. You can take just a half dog pose, stretching out. You can almost feel the difference from side to side. Great. And then we're going to take our left foot forward and bring your hands here onto your thigh. So again, right, we get the grounding through the hips, little hugging, scissoring in, stabilizing the hips. And then inhale, right arm reaches up. Get that nice opening. And exhale, wrap around. If it's too much, you take your modified pose here. Nice big open twist. And if not, hands here folding at the heart. And so we inhale, it's like breathing right into that core of the spine. You're just breathing in life force. And then exhale, gently wringing it out, looking all the way to the left. So good for the brain to move the eyes around a little bit. Notice where you are in space. Mm. Mm. And finish your next exhale. Inhale, gently release. We'll come back. Oh, yes. And just rest. So you can either take this, we call it the puppy pose, it's a half dog, or you're welcome to go into the full child's pose at this point, which is knees apart, feet together, and just rest. Rest your forehead down and take a few breaths wherever you are. Just noticing your body, noticing your energy level, noticing your mind. So the yogis used to say that when we heat up the body, it helps to cool the mind. Right? So in this lunchtime meditation, we're going to do a little bit of heating up of the body, and then we'll do some meditation. And so you're going to finish your next breath all the way out. Beautiful. And then we'll inhale, come on up to sitting and stretch the legs out in front. And here's where you might need a strap or a blanket. So if your back is at all rounded when you sit down on the ground, oftentimes it's coming from tightness in the hamstrings, we just give ourselves a little support underneath until you reach back and you just feel the more vertical extension in the spine happening, not the rounding. Okay. And then you can pull the flesh back from your sits bones, roll your thighs in a little bit. And this is where we can use a strap. You can take the strap around your feet, and scarves work great if you don't have a strap. And just put it around the balls of the feet and sit up nice and tall. And this might be your pose of the day. If you can maybe come a little closer, and then maybe you might realize you don't need the strap, and you just take the outer edges of your feet and work your way into the pose. Nice, deep, long breath in and full extended breaths out. And the elbows go wide, shoulders go down, sliding and gliding down the back. Don't push, listen. Meet your body right where it is. I have to say, this is one of the great gifts of hitting the middle-aged years with yoga and doing it more as an athlete, younger in life. It's been a great teaching just to meet my body right where it is. Yeah. And when we can meet our bodies right where they are, oftentimes the tissues will let us in more. There's not a forcing, there's this meeting. And in that meeting, there's a softening. Beautiful. And then inhale, come on up. Do one more sitting pose called Janu Shirshasana, taking your left foot, bring it in. You can maybe widen your stance just a little bit and also use the strap if you need it around your foot. Okay, so we just start here. Inhale and then exhale. And you might just come down a quarter of an inch. It's fine. Otherwise, you can, I always like to use my other hand as a little support here on the outside. So we keep inhaling and exhaling. Let's meet the body right where it is. So just two more breaths here. Nice, slow, long, extended breaths. And inhale, come on up. Beautiful. Exhale, straighten it out here. Fold the right leg in. And inhale, either both arms up, or you can take your strap around your foot. You decide. Take another breath in, inhale, and the right kidney starts to spin towards the left thigh as you fold. And feel free to just feel the inner movements, the subtle, slower movements, exploration, staying curious on the inside. You're welcome to use your left hand outside here for some more stability. Good. And then we'll inhale, come on up. Good, exhale, let's release. And we will lie down on our backs here for the remainder, and then until we get to meditation. So we're going to start with a couple of abdominal strengtheners. Okay? So we'll take our hands here behind the skull, interlacing the hands. Great. So for this first one, go ahead and lift your head and your right leg at about a 90-degree angle. And you'll reach your left elbow towards your right leg. So I'm going to go really slow to begin with. Exhale. And then lift your left leg, bring the elbows in, and reach with your right elbow towards the left knee. And then inhale back. And side to side. So you squeeze the elbows in, but reach the left elbow to right knee. And then open the elbows back up, bring your head to the floor. With the left knee to a 90-degree, close the elbows. Good. So we're doing slow movements, which actually is a little more intrinsic. We're activating more of the intrinsic core muscles in the body, postural muscles, stabilizing muscles, coming down. And sometimes it can feel a little harder to go slow. So as you come down, open it back up, relax the head for a moment, and then come back up, squeezing in, right elbow to left knee, and back. We'll do each side one more time. And last one. Beautiful. And then we'll lie back. Just keep your hands clasped here. Rest your elbows wide. Good. And then take the hands out. Relax the arms down by your sides for a moment. Good. And then let's take our legs up to about a 45-degree angle here. Hands come behind the skull again. Okay, and this time we're just going to go right in the middle, squeezing the elbows in, and then very slowly coming back down. And squeezing in, and then slowly coming back down. Now, this time we're going to extend the left leg out as we come forward and go back to 90-degree angle legs. And then we'll stretch the right leg out. You're going to reach a little bit more towards that left knee and come back. Stretching the left leg out and back. And right leg out and back. And one more time each side and back. Last one. And back. Rest your head back down, draw the knees into the chest, and just hold your knees for a moment, rolling a little bit side to side. Let's take the feet back down. We're going to windshield wipe the knees. So turn your feet about 45 degrees out. And then the knees are going to go over to the right side as the arms cactus out to your side. You can gaze off the opposite shoulder. And then inhale back to center and exhale, looking to your right. Inhale and exhale. You can find a little extra reach through that left leg, knee, opening up the psoas and the hip flexors. And then inhale, exhale to the other side. And one more time each side. Yeah. And last one here. Great. And then we'll come back to center. Bring the feet together, pick up the legs. And you can use your arms if you need to, but bring your both bent knees over to the left side, and you want to end up with a 90-degree angle in your legs, right? And we'll just start here with on our left side, left shoulder, and you're going to slowly open the arm, and you can follow the arm with your gaze, good for proprioception, and open it up into a twist here. So try not to force and push. If that's kind of what you're used to, just relax first. And then kind of work the spirals, feel the shape. Try to yield into the posture. And then here we can even straighten out the legs. Maybe go ahead and take the outside of your right foot and then straighten out your left leg into a little bit of a deeper twist here. We see about anchoring and yielding to the right shoulder, reaching and lengthening through the right foot. And good. And then we'll bend both the knees and come back to center. Give just a little bit of a squeeze. And then we'll let the knees go over to the right, starting on the right shoulder. Make sure the legs are 90 degrees. And then we'll just take this arm up and watch it with your eyes as you bring the arm as far as it'll go. Now, this, again, I have a little more stiffness in my left side from an old injury. So I'm just honoring. I'm going to keep this. I'm going to choose to keep this left knee down and then work open the twist in my shoulder. And if I don't push, but I actually really meet the tissue where it is and breathe, there's an opening, a fluidity, and a yielding that starts to happen in the tissue because I'm not pushing. See, if you know anything about fascia, if you push fascia too hard, it will harden. But if you kind of meet it right where it is, it starts to get more and more fluid. The last breath here, exhaling, and then we'll release the arm and inhale, coming back up. Give yourself a little squeeze. Very good. And then let's extend the legs out in front. And if you need any extra clothing, let's take a couple of minutes here in the final corpse pose, resting pose. Yeah, and actually before we go into resting, I feel like we need to do a symmetrical pose. So we're going to come into bridge real quick. So bend the knees, bring the feet hip distance apart, press the inner heels and slowly rise up into bridge pose. So just come to your first edge, keep the thigh bones parallel, interlace the hands and walk one shoulder in at a time. Enjoy a few breaths. Last breath, inhale. Exhale, release your hands, lower your hips back. And you can just shake a little bit in your hips. And extend one leg out at a time. Okay, now we're ready for Shavasana, palms facing up. If you are cold or chilled at all, you can put on an extra layer. Mhm. Just rest back for a minute. And simply notice the chi moving through the body. Chi is just energy or prana. It's said that we have 72,000 channels that run through our body. So yoga is a tool that helps us to open up those channels. At the end of your practice, most likely you're going to feel more energy and more calming energy as well. You might notice it as a tingling in the palms and soles of the feet. Just rest your head, rest your face and jaw. Let your shoulders drip back. Let go of any tension that you might be holding on to unnecessarily. Mm. Of course, you're welcome to stay here rather than come to meditation. Those of us that are going to come and sit for a few minutes will begin to move the hands and the wrists and the ankles and feet and stretch the arms overhead, bend both knees, and we'll roll over to one side gently, making your way up to a comfortable seat. And if you need a prop to sit on, please get a blanket or a cushion. And you find whatever comfortable seated position works for you. You're also welcome to do meditation lying on your back. So the hands will rest here on the thighs. Find the extension in your spine, the natural lift. And the shoulders simply drip back and down. And see if you can notice a lightness around your chest and heart, and a clarity in your mind. So asana brings us a sense of calmness and coolness in the mind and the brain so that we can go back to our day, have more clarity. We'll just simply do a very simple meditation of observing our thoughts, observing any emotion that's present. And if you notice a thought, like a cloud moving through the sky, you just watch that thought until it passes. And then if another thought comes, it's like a cloud moving through the sky, and simply watch that thought pass. And the next thought. And we're not trying to get rid of our thoughts. It's really important to know. Just become the observer. We don't identify with all the thoughts. Mm. Very gently bring the hands and join them at the heart center in a prayer position. So we seal in the practice and take just a moment to visualize yourself moving through the rest of your day with more clarity and more wakefulness, and spreading that into all those that you come in contact with. We'll lift the thumbs to the third eye and take a gentle bow. Mm. Thank you for joining me today, everyone. I hope you have a beautiful day. Thank you. Thank you. Mm.